Hello, this is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a totally thrilling announcement for all fans of Bruckner's music, among whom I am absolutely one of them. It turns out that there has been something of a turmoil, a tumult in the world of Bruckner scholarship, and specifically a rival organization to the Musikwissenschaftlicher Verlag der International Bruckner Gesellschaft Wien has been set up not in Wien but in Linz. It's going to be called the Musikwissenschaftlicher Verlag der International Bruckner Gesellschaft Linz. Isn't that great? So now, in addition to the Anton Bruckner Gesamtausgabe from Wien, we're going to now have a Gesamtausgabe in Linz. But here's the point, and this is what's so exciting about it. They're not going to be publishing the symphonies again, because that Gesamtausgabe is already so gesamt that we don't need another Ausgabe. You know, we already have 55 versions of the Second Symphony and 160 versions of the Fourth Symphony, and they keep coming up with new ones. They've got William Carrigan, who can channel Bruckner and write the things that Bruckner thought of but never actually did, and then publish them as a critical edition. So we don't need that anymore. It turns out that the real Bruckner, the echt, the really echt Bruckner, is not contained in the symphonies at all. And let me explain to you why. If you look at the prologue here, the foreword to the symphony in F minor, his very, very first symphony, this is the Fassung from 1863, which makes a chill run down my spine that there may be other Fassungen that we haven't seen yet, but that's where I'm getting to. See, Bruckner, as you know, had numeromania. You know, he counted everything obsessively. He couldn't stop himself. And so what he did with this symphony, it turns out it's marked Schularbeit 863. 863. Schoolwork 863. Now, since this little bit of schoolwork is, you know, a budding masterpiece, as we already know, it leads to an open question, doesn't it? What is the other Schularbeit? The other 862 Schularbeits? Well, that's what the new Bruckner Wissenschaftlicher Verlag is going to be publishing. All 862 previous Schularbeits. And oh, what a treasure trove it is. I mean, they've asked me to work with them on their scholarly committee, and I only have a preliminary list of things for the 862 Schularbeits, because they're still working their way through them. But apparently there's about 175 fugues and contrapuntal exercises, and then there's just hundreds and hundreds of motets and sacred music settings and complete rosary cycles and things that no one has ever heard before. It's really extraordinary. There's chamber music that we don't know about, including a trombone octet that is probably the first of Bruckner's music for trombones. It's absolutely amazing. And of course, everyone has lamented the fact that Bruckner, who was supposed to be the greatest organist of his day, never wrote any organ music. Well, there isn't any organ music in the Schularbeit either, but they're going to play it on the organ anyway. And so you'll have lots of organ music by Bruckner. Isn't that fantastic? And the whole edition, which is going to number about 185 volumes or so when it's done, is going to be accompanied by recordings. A fabulous series using internationally acclaimed artists who haven't been identified yet, but they'll get to it. And they're going to record all of this music, which is I just think beyond exciting. And in addition to that, as if that weren't enough, in order to really understand the roots of Bruckner's style and the history of the Schularbeit and how we got to 863 here, they're going to record the complete fugues of Bruckner's teacher, Simon Sechter. Now, Sechter wrote over 5,000 fugues. I mean, he was supposedly tried to do at least one a day for his entire life. And no one has ever heard these works before. I mean, it's entirely possible that the entire fugal construction at the end of the Te Deum or in the middle of the Fifth Symphony actually originated in one of the 5,000 fugues of Simon Sechter. So now we're going to have the opportunity to listen to all 5,000 of them to hear which ones were the most influential in the formation of Bruckner's mature style. Could there be anything more thrilling? I mean, really, it's just beyond exciting, because I don't know about you, but I was really getting sick of the fact that we just keep seeing editions of the same music over and over and over again. I mean, it was really getting tiresome and very, very confusing to have, 3 versions of the fourth and 2 versions of the eighth, plus the one that Bruckner never really wrote that William Carrigan finished. I mean, what's the point of that? It's just the same thing over and over again. We need fresh material if we're going to be serious Brucknerians, and to know that there are 862 unknown works by Anton Bruckner. I mean, just because he called it schoolwork, that doesn't mean it's not a masterpiece. I mean, what did he know? I mean, he had no idea. He had no clue about anything. We all know that. I mean, one of the most important and noteworthy tendencies in Bruckner scholarship is that everyone thinks that they were smarter than Bruckner. And of course we all were. So why not publish this stuff? It's going to be thrilling, and I'm going to have such pleasure reporting to you from Linz on how the work is going and when the first volumes will be coming out and who's going to be recording them. I can't even tell you. I mean, today's day and age, it's so unusual to have a true discovery in the field of musicology, especially when you're dealing with a major composer and one who was so limited in the amount of important music that they composed. So get ready, folks. It's coming. The 862 individual items of Bruckner's Schulwerk, complete in addition to all 5,000 fugues of Simon Sechter. It's going to be an epic journey that I'm truly looking forward to telling you about. It's something to keep on listening for. Thank you all. Looking forward, aren't we?